We're live from Georgia, a key battleground state in the race for the White House. In just moments, the current U.S. president will debate the former U.S. president as their party's presumptive nominees, a first in American history. President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs.
That's cap, and you know it, Jake. When I was president, the debt was, quite frankly, non-existent. But now that Sleepy Joe is letting illegals pour into our country, our beautiful, beautiful country, the debt is sky high.
Come on, man. You know that your poor administrative skills are the reason to ye.
That's my special envoy to monitor cabinet anti-Semitism, Deborah, you all. Where is it? Deborah here?
If we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch.
Like I've always said, we need to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. We also need to put 1 million kids in cages. Wait, sorry, I forgot what stance I'm supposed to have.
Joe Biden. For once, I totally and completely agree with Joe, which is, quite frankly, astounding and isn't something anybody ever thought would happen in the history of our country's life.
Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021.
Come on, Jake, you know that we were just playing a little battle royale. I can promise that we'll try Obama Simulator next time, though.
As the first president, black female president, I promised to save democracy when I beat Donald in 1988.
I'm not sure Sleepy Creepy Joe even knows what year it is.
Creepy Joe? I'm pretty sure you're the one who hangs out with Epstein all day, Donald.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents.
Number one, those 34 felonies fall under a special ruling due to unique circumstances. Google Trump Rule 34 to learn more. Number two, I won't have to go after Joe. He's so old he blinks one eye at a time. I quite frankly will be surprised if he survives the month.
I'm not old Donald. I'm told by my campaign managers that I have violent sex with Joe Biden every night.
Thank you, President Biden.
I also have sex with Jill Biden every night.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy.
Number one, Donald.
There's asylum officers and over 100 cutting-edge inspection machines to help detect and stop fentanyl coming on our southwest border.
Like I've always said, poor kids are just as smart as white kids. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Good night, America. We'll be back next week with another episode of The Daily Show.
I think Sleepy Joe should, quite frankly, really take his meds. It's honestly quite embarrassing to be at this debate. I have so many better things I could be doing, like Gaddafi maxing.
Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Climate crisis? More like fake news. I saw a snowflake once 30 years ago, so climate change is, quite frankly, categorically false.
I was born during the last ice age, so I can guarantee that climate change is very real. Just look at how England is no longer a massive glacier.
Come on, Joe, just because Hunter makes it snow in the White House doesn't mean that there was an actual ice age.
You weren't supposed to find out that Hunter's been running the White House for the past year, Donald.
I knew it all along, but the fake news media keeps covering your ass. Weekend at Biden's, am I right?
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of child care, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue.
We need to legalize selling children. It will solve so many problems at once. No more abortions, no more poor people, and quite frankly, I'll be able to buy a ton of kids for cheap. Wait, ignore that last part, guys.
Wait, you can buy kids? Where? I need to sniff their hair.
Would you look at this, everyone? My opponent is officially a pedophile. He just admitted to wanting to buy children. What a vile, despicable act that should, quite frankly, be grounds for his impeachment. Everyone's been saying this for a long, long time.
Come on, Jack, I think you're forgetting about how often you go to Epstein Island.
Epstein Island, more like fake news. Epstein was actually a Democrat, Joe, which further proves my point. Now let's stop acting like children before I get too excited.
Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term.
When I was president, we found a frankly brilliant cure for COVID. Simply try injecting bleach inside the body, almost like a cleansing. If that alone isn't enough, we've also looked at shining ultraviolet light inside the body.
The opioid crisis.
I thought you were talking about the China virus COVID.
Stop being racist, Donald, and answer the question.
I would solve the opioid crisis by giving all of the drugs to Hunter Biden. I'm sure he and Joe could get through them all in a few days.
That's not true, Donald. The cocktail I'm on right now only cost $100,000 and lasts for an entire day. I doubt I could get through even $1 million of drugs in a week.
So that's why you passed the 94 crime bill, just to keep them all to yourself. Smart. I would have done the same myself.
President Biden, while black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, black families still earn far less than white families.
I'm against slavery because slavery is bad. I actually freed 7 of my slaves. Well, not all 7. I lost 1 and another 2 died, so I guess I freed about half of my slaves. This is why I fully and unconditionally support segregation.
Damn, Joe, I didn't know that you were even more racist than I was.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden.
I guess I win the debate then. Thanks so much, guys.
Not so fast, Donald. Well, folks, looks like I won the debate. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with another video.